Hello, this is Elijah. I'm going to be walking you through setting up a workflow with fotoClient. Workflows are an important part of fotoClient and provide automation and the real power of what fotoClient can do for you. So it's an important thing to understand, and it's really not that hard. So I'll be walking you through that now. Starting out, this is the dashboard here. It shows I haven't created a workflow yet. We could click here, but we're going to go to Settings and then Workflows. This is how you'll always get to it normally. And when you don't have any workflows yet, we'll see this message, which tells you a little bit about them. We're going to click Add Workflow to create one. And the first time you create a workflow, you'll see here there's a little guide that walks you through it. But I'm going to dismiss that for now since I'll be walking you through it, but you may find this helpful when you're doing it on your own. So I'm just going to close this. Now, here is our first workflow. We can choose the color right here. This is the color that represents these types of events, and I should define here a workflow defines an event type. And so if you shoot weddings, for example, you should have a wedding workflow. Engagements, you'd have an engagement workflow, and so on. So I'm just going to leave this color there, and I'll type wedding here, and I can save it just like that. And here we have our most basic workflow. And so it defines an event type. So now when we create an event, we can select wedding as one of those types. But there's a lot more we can do here, and that is with tasks. So normally when you have an event that you've booked, you have certain tasks that you have to do beforehand and after, and that's usually relative to the event date. So that's how tasks are set up here. So let's say before the wedding, we want to verify the schedule. And let's say that's due before the event date. Let's do that 2 days before the event date. So there we go. We've got that. Can save that. And so we have now, this is our timeline, verify schedule 2 days before. And can add another task. Let's say, just sort of making these up for now. Prep the equipment before the event date, 1 day before. And so there we go. Now we have the timeline, and I can click on these to expand them and edit again, and then click the top to make it small again. So, and then we have the event here. So we don't have any tasks after the event yet, so we'll add the next one here. And let's say import photos. And this we want to do right away. And so let's say do this after the event date. And I'm just going to put a 0 in here, and that just means it's due right after. So now if I minimize this, we can see the timeline. We see verify schedule 2 days before, prep the equipment 1 day before, import photos immediately after. And let's add another task here and call this backup photos. And rather than having this be due after the event date, let's say it's due after another task is completed, and say that's import photos. So now we have after the event, import photos immediately after, and then within about a day after, back up the photos. And you can see that it's set in a little bit. So this task's due date is based on when import photos is actually completed. And we can add another task here. And let's say select photos for edit, and say this takes 3 days. The due date is after the event date, a week after. So you gotta get that figured out within a week after. So there we go. And so this is a top level. Again, it's relative to the event date rather than another task. And so once the photos are selected for editing, we'll want to edit the photos, get everything post-processed. And say this takes a few days here, and this would be due after selecting, that's kind of cutting off in the video here, but select photos for edit. So again, that's another relative one. So here we have verify the schedule 2 days before. This is our whole timeline. Prep the equipment the day before, and then immediately after, import the photos. And then after importing, backup photos is dependent on that. And then a week after, we have the photos selected for edit. And dependent on that is the editing the photos, which takes about 5 days to do. So it would be due 5 days after that to have completed. And I'm going to save this. That's all I'm going to do for now. My workflows are actually a lot longer than this. Obviously, this is where you customize it to what you're already doing. So you don't have to conform what you're doing already. This is customizable and flexible, and you can add in whatever you want here. You can even add, send an anniversary card 365 days later or 360 days later to give you a little time. And so now, and we could create more too, but now I'm going to go to events, and this is just a test account here. Let's say we have an event coming up let's say next month here. No, actually, we'll do next week. And it's a wedding. And so this is this event type. This was defined by the workflow we just created. And let's see, we'll create a demo contact for that. Click save. And now we have our new event. And down here, we've got the tasks. So we've got verify schedule, prep equipment, import photos, backup photos, select the photos for edit, and edit the photos. And all these due dates are relative to the event date that we just did here. And so you can see verify schedule, that's due in 5 days. We could change this to, if we set that a week back, now it's adjusted all these task dates as well. And when we go to tasks, it shows when they're due right here, and they show up on here. You can see the client that event that it's attached to, and we can click up here to jump to that event. And that's everything there. I'm going to go back now to workflows, and you'll want to create one for each type of photography you do. So you might have a different workflow for engagement. So we can click add workflow and create another one, and select a different color for that and go through the same process. I'm not going to do that right here, but I think that gives you the idea. If you have any more questions or need help with this, feel free to reach out to support@photoclient.com. We're here to help. This is an important thing to understand, so yeah, please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you very much. That's it for now.